Hello and welcome to this series where we're going to follow the construction of my new layout. The layout itself is going to be set up in a loft, and it's going to be a total dimension of 8 foot by 2 foot 6. It's split across 2 boards. I've managed to salvage 2 of the boards from my old layout, but I've had to put a new sheet of plywood across the top. So this is now all screwed down, ready to go, and I'm just going to paint the top surface with a white emulsion for 2 reasons. First of all, to seal the wood, and secondly, it gives a nice appearance, so it doesn't just give you a plain wood look at the rear of the layout in the fiddle yard when I'm completed. Okay, so now I've got the top painted in 2 coats. I've also painted the underneath, so this plywood should be sealed quite nicely. I've also gone and attached the fiddle yard, which I'd normally use for my smaller evergreen layout and bank layout. I'm going to use that as an additional storage for the fiddle yard, which gives me another 7 trains that's going to be usable. So okay then, I've managed to get the track work complete over the last few weeks, and as you can see, everything's done. It gives you a bit of a better idea of what the plan is. So starting off on the right hand side, I know the tools are all over it, so please ignore that mess. What you've got there is my fiddle yard that I'd normally use for Hither Green and bank, and you can see how track formation comes round, joins into the fiddle yard of the main layout. That fiddle yard has a inner road at the back here, which is just going to be used like a bypass road so that trains can come out of the wing yard, and there's also a small siding at the far end long enough to get a unit in. Then you've got 5 through roads across the middle here. They will both work in either direction. The far end, there's a couple of 4 smaller sidings, and again another bypass road which goes around with an extra siding, and it also comes around and works as the head shunt for the yard of the main layout. The way I've planned this, as you can see, is all the fiddle yard roads come down to one point to a single track, and then it joins with a point back into your 2-track main line to go all the way around. Now the benefit of that will enable me to run trains in either direction, especially as this is going to be a layout based around southern regions. So you're going to have lots of multiple units which they could go either direction, so I can have trains working both ways without any need to have duplication. Then at the front you can see I've got a small yard. The plan for this is going to be a pre-assembly depot, so you've got 3 through roads which will obviously work like you'd expect any normal civil engineer's yard to work, and they come down to the crossover and the head shunt on this far end here. On the far distance it goes down into a smaller head shunt. I did contemplate putting that down as like a catch point or trap point, but I thought if I use a small head shunt up that end, I can either store a loco up there, or I can use it to run trains around in the through roads. The 3 sidings, as I said, are going to be working as a pre-assembly depot, so the plan for the scenery around this area will be lots of things like track panels, point work being constructed, parts for any civils engineering work you can imagine that could be done on the southern region. So at the moment, all the track work is laid. It's all standard Pico, electro frog points at the front, and then insole frog turnouts at the rear. You can see that I've used medium radius at the front, which I think are fine. The curved points on either end, they're both insole frogs, and then at the rear, all the point work is the small radius Pico point work. Standard Pico code 80 track. I'm quite happy with code 80. Everything runs well on it. So as I said, at this point here, everything's track work has been laid. I've just got to get on with the wiring now. For the control panels, I'm going to be using these plastic ABS boxes. Come in 2 parts. What I'll do is I'll do a small video once I've done the first one. I'll do a video showing how I do them, give you an idea of how they work. And these are available. I think I picked them up for £6 each, I've got two of these. One's going to do obviously the left hand board, the other's going to do the right hand board, and then there'll be a wired connection between the two of them. Okay, so I've got one of the control panels wired up now, which has enabled me to go round obviously in a full loop now. The only way this is working at the moment is because I haven't cut through all the rails at the board joint. Once I do that, obviously the second board would be dead. So just tested it out on the one control panel, get the other control panel built, and then I'll test it thoroughly to make sure everything's working before I then start thinking about chopping the rails up. So I hope you've enjoyed this little update on what I've been up to with regards to the layout. Obviously the plan is now to progress this through to a stage where it's exhibitional, but that's going to take some time, I think. So we're going to work through this, and I'll be doing like video updates as and when I can on this layout. Obviously I'll try and get back to the 3D CAD videos as well. Part of the plan with this layout is to use as much scenery that's 3D printed as possible. So I will be adding videos in as I do certain objects with regards to the scenery on this layout. So as I say, I hope you've enjoyed this, and thanks for watching.